Welcome back. I'm Cal Caledon.
Bill and Ted are two 16-year-old boys who go to San Dimas High School.
Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure centers around Bill S. Preston Esquire, Alex Winter, and Ted Theodore Logan, or Keanu Reeves. Two teens who want to start a band and just hang out with each other. They live a simple life of junk food, parties, and bodacious babes. Bill and Ted are idiot savants, minus the savant. They're really just two surfer, stoner, 80s teenagers from California. You know, I loved this movie before ever becoming a stoner teenager and, you know, whatever I am nowadays. And it was always a great movie throughout that whole time. Speaking about time, it's time to end the video, everybody. See ya. Just kidding, it's a movie about time travel. They go back to the past and they have to get back to the future. Oh wait, no. That's a different movie. This one's where they time travel back to the past, select historical figures for their book report. But really, it's just a fun movie about fun things in life. Keanu Reeves gives the best performance of his entire career, and Alex Winter gives a good performance as always. I'm glad to see him in other movies such as... and he's never acted since. So, this was written back in 1987, and it wasn't released until 2 years later. And this was already after, like, a huge writing process where these guys were, like, going into comedy clubs and, like, being the characters and, like, doing jokes and asking or answering questions as the characters.
We did a little improv group for no audience, just 5 of us working out, where we came up with the characters.
They actually did sort of comedy routines. What they would do is they would be Bill and Ted on stage. They would really have nothing written, and they would just invite questions from the audience that would have to do with whatever, and they would answer it as Bill and Ted.
Anyways, the original script was like completely different for this one, and it got a ton of rewrites. And then, on top of all that, there's the production studio going out of business. But after that was all said and done, it was time to choose the right Bill and Ted. Chemistry is super important, especially when it's like a comedy movie. You know, like it's really all about the dynamic of your characters and what these actors can bring to them. But like, there's something so... it's just right with these two. I mean, so much so that they were even friends, like, outside of filming this. This film is rich with, like, a bunch of great shots. Even though it was, like, such a low budget, they ended up getting the guy from Monty Python, and a lot of it feels like Monty Python, and some of the props and stuff look exactly like that, too. It's honestly so cool and fun, like... The movie has this whole grainy film look like movies did back in the day, of course. It was shot on film. It had a lot of, like, wide, flat comedy shots. Like, you know how it is. Most comedies are filmed with, like, just a flat, basic shot. It's not pushed in or anything. You can pretty much see everything, and it's lighted in such a way where it's flat, like there's not a ton of shadow or anything. But this movie also had a ton of super interesting lighting and shadows and different environments that the characters interacted with. And each era had its own look, too, almost. I really like the future. That was cool. San Dimas 20 whatever. You know, the vibe of this whole movie is like a smoky evening with friends. It's like more funny Back to the Future. It's like if The Matrix was written by a stoned 17-year-old. It's like being a teen. Here's some funny facts. Pretty funny. Missy, Bill's stepmom, is like 19. She graduated like a year before this movie. Another interesting thing about this is, like, when it was originally written, like I said, it was way different, and it was called Bill and Ted's Time Machine, and they take a van back to the past, and they have to get back to the future from Nazi Germany. The first time I watched this, I went to the store with my mom, I think, and there was like a discount movie bin, and I picked out like a movie from here, and it was Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. And then I also got a bunch of sugar babies. Is that what they're called? Little like sugary candy things that are taste like caramel or whatever. Anyway, I came back home, I popped the movie in, and I popped a couple of those things in my mouth, and I kept eating them and eating them, and I just made myself so fucking sick eating these little brown sugar pellets. Anyway, it didn't ruin the movie for me, but I did get really fucking sick from that. This movie genuinely showcases what's best in life. You know, it's just two friends that are hanging out, having a good time. They're making music, eating junk food, talking about babes. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. But also, it shows other things in life. Love, water parks, aerobics, stepmom, you know. Takes all these caricatures, these historical figures, and it makes them like cartoonish. And it puts them in 1980s America, at the mall specifically. Like center of all culture back then.
But nothing as bodacious as what just happened.
And it really shows off that like the last half of the 20th century seemed really interesting, and it seemed like there was a lot of fun things to do. Now all of our malls are dilapidated and boring, but that's okay. This movie shows off water parks and aerobics and all sorts of skateboarding, and I wish it showed them smoking weed. That'd be cool too, but you know, it's just the best things in life. It really displays a positive attitude. They just tell each other to be excellent to each other and to party on. I don't know. It really is like a well thought out and interesting movie, despite the very basic premise that it has. Honestly, it's so great. It just like displays so many things about like having fun and being excellent. I don't even know. Like it truly, Bill and Ted aren't the best role models, but they're really interesting nevertheless. It's a great movie. I honestly recommend it to anyone. Specifically, stoners would love this movie. But kids, your grandma, anyone's gonna like this movie. It's a crowd pleaser for sure. Anyway, you made it this far. Remember to like, subscribe. It's been your Cal Paladin. Yes, I don't know. Fuck it. Have fun. Be excellent. It's like if it was a weird timeline where Spicoli was actually in Back to the Future, then you'd get this movie. It's like a Kevin Smith movie fucked Ferris Bueller. It's like my fuck. I can't think of any more.